Hello everyone, welcome back to another WK Baker experience, and today we're going to be jumping into the Japanese car market, and this time we're covering a JDM car, the Nissan Silvia. Before we get into the details, please subscribe to the channel if you're liking the content that I'm creating here. We've grown the channel quite a bit. We've got quite a bit more subscribers and I greatly appreciate it. And so get a couple more of you guys subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Alright, so the Nissan Silvia has a really special place in my heart. The reason being, in the US, I actually had a Nissan 240SX, and this 240SX, it comes in the coupe or the hatchback version, and it's kind of similar to the 180SX in Japan, but the engine is totally different. The Nissan 240SX in the US actually has a KA24 engine, which is basically a pickup truck. But I had that car. I did a manual swap. It was automatic. Swapped it to a manual, and just turned it into a full-on drift car. I didn't go to any drift events, but I just out in the country of California drifted all those roads and had a lot of fun. And so the car is very special to me, and the cool thing to do back in the day then, and I think still now, if you have a 240SX, I had the ones with the pop-up lights. The goal was always to get a Nissan Silvia S13 JDM bumper with those lights and the whole front bumper setup. It was epic. I never got to that point, but I love these cars. So I want to give like a kind of brief overview, a little bit of the history, dive a little bit deeper in this car review, and so let's get started. So I think most of you guys know the S13 and also 14, 15. The S15 was never sold in the US, but we had some like the 13, 14. But I think the engine options were a lot different. They didn't have the SR20 DET motors that they had in Japan. But I don't think many of you guys know that there was actually an S12. And the S12 in the world market, maybe in the US, I'm not really sure, was known as the Gazelle. And the S12, while it wasn't famous for drifting or anything like that, it was when Nissan started to experiment with the turbocharging, which really got the Silvia a lot of recognition, especially into the S13. So the S12 was early 80s and really kind of a boxy look, but the S13 had a real sleek, more rounded design here, and it started from 1988 all the way to 1993. That's the S13. The S14 is 1993 to 1998, and then the 1999 S15 to I think 2002. So those are the kind of categories, and each of those they had different options, obviously. So there was a J, which is kind of just the base model there, and then the Q and the K. And the Q was the turbocharged. No, I got that backwards. So the Q is the non-turbo sports model, and then the K is the turbocharged model there. So there, even for the turbo model, there was two different engines. There was the CA18 DET, and then that was the 89 to 91, and then there was the SR20 DET that I mentioned, and that was a very popular 2-liter engine that really elevated the performance of the S13. So, and it's a very well-known motor, very tunable. You can get a lot of power out of these things. One thing to note as we get into the Japanese market review is that a lot of these cars have been modified. So they might have been a base model J car, and then they added the more sporty suspension, or all kinds of different setups, added a turbo, or swapped the engine. So you got to pay attention to all the details on these cars to really know what you're getting into. And by no means am I like in-depth expert on these cars, but I still think it'll be fun to go through the market and see what's available. Alright, so we just started the screen share here, so I think I'll put it right here. And so I filtered out the only manuals, right? I think we're only interested in manuals here. And then we've got a Silvia 2.0 K car. So the Ks, that is the turbo car with all of the good suspension upgrades and everything like that compared to the base model J car. So we've got the 3.45. So 3.45, so that's about 24,000 US dollars. 24,000 US dollars. And this one's got some body kit and some wheels that don't really fit this thing. But yeah, let's just look into the first one here. I don't know which body kit this thing is. We got the interior here. Let me fix this though first here. If the screen recorder is not big enough. Alright, let's try that. So it started here. So the interior of these cars, the dashes tend to crack quite a bit. I think the one I had in the US also had a crack. It wasn't too bad, but as you can see here, these cars are nothing fancy. They got these huge push buttons here, just big smooth dash here. They're not bad though. I mean, they're just a driver's car. And these fabric seats though, look at them. They're just wrapped in fabric and like a sofa. But look at that engine. This is the SR20 DET. Really good engine. You'd probably want to, go through it quite a bit, because maybe these things were driven hard. You want to check the oil, check the coolant, make sure everything is good to go. I think these are quite robust engines, but you would want to just do your checks there. Let's see. Oh yeah, see, there's the seats here, just kind of wrapped in fabric. On mine, I put the bride, or I don't know how they say it in Japan, maybe bride seats. I had full bucket bride seats and 4-point harness seat belts. Of course, no back seats, no air conditioning, no nothing. I just stripped everything out. But you would see that you would want to do something to this car. So this car is like, I don't know. There's some really beautiful ones. I think we'll get down there quite a bit. This one kind of already kind of modified, but just not fully done properly. So this would be probably a pretty good project car. 24,000 US dollars. I mean, it's not cheap. It's not cheap for what it is, um, but it's a fun rear-wheel drive car that handles really good and lots of aftermarket parts. So I think that's where this Silvia really shines. And so we've got a Q car here, and the price is very similar actually, but this is more like a beautiful stock car. So again, this is the non-turbo model, the two-tone, which I don't know why two-tone is just, it looks really good on this car and well maintained. This is a 1991 70,000 kilometers. You see here the engine, the non-turbo. So, you know, this it's still the SR20DE, but if you were to turbocharge it, you know, the pistons and the compression ratios on a non-turboed engine from the factory like this, they run slightly higher compression pistons. And so it's not like you can't turbocharge this car, but the fuel system, the pistons, I don't know, maybe the rods or something, but you would need to do quite a bit of work to get this car to be turbocharge friendly, but it's not out of possibility. But yeah, looking through this car, they've got the photos of the undercarriage, and you can just take a look here. It's in pretty good shape for the age of the car. 1991. Wow. Nice suspension setups, geometries. Interior of the car. No cracked dash on this one. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be a fun little car. Even the non-turbo ones, you know, I mean, yeah, I guess I'm just getting older. I used to only like heavily modified cars, but now I could appreciate this. On the outside, the inside, I don't know. I'd have a hard time just leaving it like that. We've got another K car. The K car. That sounds weird to say that, but you know, in Japan, K cars are those little mini cars. But I'm talking about the K, which is the turbo. Super high case, aero. I don't know. I don't even want to look at that one. 5-speed. Q. 5-speed. So this one has the pop-up lights. I don't know what year is this. 1991. I don't know. Maybe they do like a USD conversion. I don't know, cause like this is kind of like my 240 SX in the US had the pop-up lights. Bumper is a little bit different than that, but I kind of tend towards these. Let's just check this one out. Kind of a little bit more nicely modified car here. I don't know, the side skirts are a little bit weird. Okay. Let's see what the engine bay looks like. I don't know if there's the the late and early engines, maybe the red top and the black top, or the what was it in Japanese too? So the early and the late models of this car. I think we're kind of seeing more of the early models here so far. But yeah. But let's see. Pretty clean though. I mean, it's got cracks all over the dash. So that's the thing, you know, you get this 1991 car and you're gonna have problems unless you buy just an insanely clean one. Oh, this one looks pretty good. The front bumper is a little aggressive and beat up. It's got the red top SR20 engine in there. SR20 DET. Got a nice little turbo. Maybe that's a larger turbo. But yeah, you can see some of these are just pretty beat, you know? Pretty beat. Oh. Modified car purchase. Yeah, I don't know if this is this a original K car, or is it a, yeah, I think this suspension geometry, it might not be it might be a J that's that's modified to a K. I'm not exactly sure. But, ooh, look at that rust too. Yeah, that's the thing. Look at that. In Japan, the roads, they can be salted. You drive up in the mountains. I've seen a lot of cars that are just rusted out. Got a wide body here. Whoa, look at that carbon diffuser bolted on the back. It's kind of cool, kind of raw. No bumper, just a carbon diffuser. It's kind of cool. Yeah, like these are these are like the seats I was running in mine. 1991. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's as for pricing. I don't know. I don't know how much people are getting for these like kind of modified ones. It's got a kind of Recaro seat in there, maybe period correct Recaro seat. It's pretty cool. LSD. Nismo LSD. Ah, that dash. Poor dash. Yeah. Oops. Let's exit that. Yeah. Q club selection. Blacked out. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the Nissan Silvia S13? Do you like it? You think they're overhyped, underhyped? What do you think? 38,000. Maybe 26,000 USD. This one's pretty clean too. I was kind of gone through here. Yeah, you want to check the undercarriage, just make sure that they didn't rust remove or paint all of that section where they showed you. Made it look real nice. But it looks nice though. And they've got, is this the same shop? I think so. Hiroshima TMS. Yeah, this shop has a couple of cars. So that's almost all of them. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Would you guys pick up any of these cars? Do you think any of these are a good deal, good price for them? Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this Japanese market review of the Nissan Silvia S13 deep dive, and we'll do the S14 and the S15 next time. So please subscribe, like, share the video with your friends, and catch you next time. Peace.